With a little bit of interest and a lot of time, compound interest can work miracles. In fact, compound interest may be considered one of the most powerful concepts in finance. Compound interest is reinvesting earned interest back into the principal of an investment. Earning interest on top of interest increases the principal, resulting in exponential growth over time. Exponential growth is the acceleration of growth in an investment's principal. Exponential growth is the result of letting interest compound over time. This idea can be a little abstract, so let's look at a hypothetical scenario to better understand the power of compound interest. Suppose there are two investors who have a starting balance of $10,000 each. They both decide to buy the exact same investment on the same date, and they both plan to hold their investments for 30 years. But one investor plans to withdraw the interest at the end of each year, while the other plans to reinvest the interest and let it compound. Let's fast forward 30 years to see the difference in potential returns. In this example, let's suppose that the investment earned 5% per year. The investor withdrawing interest every year would have earned $500 per year. Over 30 years, the earnings would have totaled $15,000. That's not too shabby. But let's see how much of a difference reinvesting the interest could have made. The investor who reinvested the interest would have possibly earned $33,219. This is more than double the return of the other investor. This is the power of compound interest. Now, let's take it to another level and discuss the importance of time. Compounding over a long period of time can potentially lead to exponential growth of a portfolio. Let's look at another example to understand how important time is to compounding. Suppose two investors have portfolios worth $100,000 each. The portfolios hold similar investments. They both use compounding to grow their portfolios 6% per year. One investor needs the money to retire in 20 years. The other will need the money to retire in 40 years. Let's see what a difference 20 years can make. At the end of 20 years, the $100,000 principal would have grown to $320,713. Now let's see how much the other investor would have earned. As you can see, the additional 20 years of compounding resulted in the principal growing to $1,028,571. That's more than 3 times the return of the other investor. Now that you understand how time impacts growth, let's discuss 3 ways how you can harness the power of compounding. The first step, and perhaps one of the most important, is to start investing early. The earlier you start, the sooner you can gain the advantage of time. The next step is reinvesting earnings. When it comes to investing, earnings are typically in the form of capital gains and dividends. Some brokers may allow you to automatically reinvest earnings, or you can simply buy more investments with earnings from capital gains and dividends. The final step is to avoid possibly the biggest obstacle many investors face, which is taking excessive risks that can lead to large losses. After all, compounding only works if you're earning on your investments. Of course, always earning a profit is easier said than done, because investments sometimes make money and other times lose money, particularly stock investments. You can't guarantee your investments will make money every year, but you can avoid taking excessive risks that can lead to large losses. Large losses can potentially be reduced by allocating your portfolio across different asset classes, such as stocks, bonds, commodities, and currencies, and diversifying your portfolio within each asset class.